So, this week, a man has spent the last 2 years building an entire town for his pets. Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather are both coming out of retirement to fight each other. Conor McGregor says that he's running for president. We've had earthquakes, landslides, train crashes, and one of the worst mining disasters in history. So, quiet week. We're gonna be covering all of that and so much more. Like the video to start your weekend with a bit of good luck, and let's stop the yapping and let's go right ahead. Okay, we have got to kick off today with the craziest story this week. This man has spent the last 2 years of his life building an entire town for his pets. And you guys need to lock in because this story will blow your mind. Now, this all started with an apartment for his Shiba Inu and cat, Shiba-san and Ting Hao. But when people saw the excruciating level of detail that Xing put in, it went viral. I mean, this thing is so realistic that it makes it look like the cat is the thing that's fake. Bro, he even created an underground den for his hamster. Oh, and then he went one step further because in that den, he created an even smaller room for his pet spider. What? And so naturally, people wanted more. So what does Xing do? He starts building more. Like an elevator, my lord. A freaking mini robo vacuum. A gaming room with a sneaker collection, figurines, model cars. And yes, believe it or not, this apartment even has running water. Good lord. He then spent the next 2 months building an entire parking garage because where are the cats and dogs and hamsters gonna pull up, huh? They need this. Oh, and he even added cameras and put Shiba-san as the head of security. But you know what these pets really needed after all of that? They kind of needed a little relax time, a little bit of seaside retreat away from this busy city life, don't they? So you know what Xing did? He built them an entire freaking private island. And no, not that kind of island. Now, this one took him only 1 month to build, light work for Xing, and it comes with real flowing water, a painted horizon, reminds me of like freaking Truman Show, and is themed on How to Train Your Dragon. This is the Truman Show for pets, isn't it? We're living through this.
Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
And thinking, you know, a private island for my pets, probably a good place to stop, right? Well, that's when he finds out that Ting Hao is pregnant. She's about to have 7 kittens. And so it dawned on him, this apartment, this parking garage, it's not big enough for a rapidly growing family. So, you know what I gotta do? Naturally, build an entire freaking town for them. And over the years, as promised, he's built them a spa, a supermarket, yes, with real meat, a bank, a cinema, which this point actually is wild because it took him more than 2 months to build the cinema alone because he had to 3D print over 1,000 separate parts. Parts. What is parts? And it took him 2 weeks just to assemble those separate parts. He built a billiards club, a Meow Donald's, and he even copped his hamster a cyber quad, and for his cat a cyber truck. Very normal. But by far the biggest addition to Cat Town yet, and I'm just prefacing with yet because who knows where he's going from here, is the working subway station. Now, this project took Xing over 4 months to build because some of the most challenging parts was how to open the train doors and the platform doors simultaneously, and also how to build a working escalator, and also how to do the entire thing, let's be honest. But come on, have you not learned anything from this story yet? He achieved them both beautifully, and now Cat Town has affordable transportation. Unlike a lot of the people that are watching this video right now, including myself. God, Alex doesn't even have the ability to walk in the forest without getting fined like 25,000, is it, Alex? These cats and pets are living better than you. Now, the biggest question that he says he gets asked all the time, which is fair enough, is why? Why spend all of this time and money on your pets like this? They don't know when something looks luxury and nice. they just won manja. And he explained that basically this all started off as just a fun idea to attract more customers because his wife recently opened a pet shop, so he built it in there. But then he continued. Things spiraled out of control because one, he loves what he does and he says that he loves challenging himself, but two, his son loves it. And imagine as a kid, for 1 second, that your dad was building a freaking small town that looks so real. This would blow your mind in ways I couldn't even imagine. Gotta be the luckiest child ever right now. And honestly, Xing, I'll put my hand up. I too want to be a lucky child. Please invite me to Cat Town. I will come there in person to make videos on this. I would love it. So, I want the invite, maybe even citizenship. But until I get that, moving on. Okay, also this week, Conor McGregor. He is not giving up his dream on being the president of Ireland. In fact, he's just posted this video showing exactly how serious he is. In the video posted on his X account, McGregor is stood there in this, actually, I'm not gonna lie, beautiful suit in front of the Irish government building, and he's urging local councillors to nominate him to be put on the ballot. He also reaffirmed his desire to crack down on mass migration and also to make the streets of Ireland safe again. It's kind of sounding familiar. But the thing is, I needed to know, does he actually have a chance of winning? Like, how does it work in Ireland? So I had a little look, and apparently any citizen above the age of 35 can technically be put on the ballot to be voted for, but they have to have at least 4 of the 31 local authorities / what they call councils backing them. Or there is another route, and he has to be basically nominated by at least 20 members of their parliament. So I guess if he has enough support behind him by people already in the government, then he stands a chance. But let's be honest, he doesn't have the squeakiest of cleanest backgrounds. I mean, just to name the sexual and physical assault allegations, which is ironic because of the cleaning up the streets of crime. But also, he isn't affiliated to any political party, which also makes it more difficult. And on top of that, there's a deadline, and there's only a couple of weeks left for him to actually be put on the ballot. But hey, I mean, with all of that stacked against him, remember, people laughed when Trump said that he was running for president, and now he's been president not once, but twice. So it is possible in 2025, but what do you guys think? Would he make a good president, or is he a non-serious candidate? Let me know in the comments. Moving on. Also, speaking about retired fighters, weirdly enough, out of nowhere last night, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather announced that they're going to be getting back in the ring and fighting each other. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. That's a weird matchup. Weight class difference, age difference, the fact that they're both retired, and and because I'm assuming of their age and all that, they said it for next year. Like, that's a long-ass time away. I mean, it's starting to feel like real-life Rocky, where he keeps on coming out of retirement to have one more fight. And they made 6 of those movies. And I mean, let me just break this down for you. Mike Tyson is 59 years old. Floyd Mayweather is 48 years old. That's a combined age of 107. Bro! Not to mention the weight difference. Mike Tyson is a heavyweight boxer. Floyd Mayweather, he's a light middleweight. But then again, if you think about it, it kind of evens each other out for a fair fight because Mike Tyson's got a 30 kg advantage, but then Floyd Mayweather has got like a 20-year younger advantage. You know, we're not talking about skill anymore. We're talking about physical differences. Oh, guys, what is happening to these boxing exhibition matches? They keep on getting crazier. I mean, we're all going to be watching it. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real with ourselves. We're going to chat shit.
Corn casserole.
And then we're going to be watching it. We all know it. And they do seem to get crazier and crazier. Like, 2030, we're gonna see Muhammad Ali's skeleton versus the Avengers. But yeah, shut up. I'm just rambling at this point. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is cool and entertaining to see ex-pros get back in the ring to see if they still got it? Or is it just sad to see old boys getting in the ring, risking their life for one more bag that they probably don't need at this point, especially Floyd? Why is he even doing it? I don't know. I'm gonna be watching it. See you there. Moving on. Also this week, I stumbled across this, the most controversial reality show ever made. In fact, I cannot believe that this was made. In 2007, producers from CBS took 40 children and said, go out into the desert, build yourself a society and run it, and you gotta do all of this from scratch. Lord of the Flies, show. Now, it was called Kid Nation, and after the parents had to sign a 22-page waiver to say, we will not sue. In fact, we cannot sue if anything happens. The children, aged 8 to 15, were dropped off in an empty town in the middle of the New Mexico desert. And so here is where they had to cook their own meals, they had to collect water, hold down jobs, they had to elect leaders, run what you could call a government, engage in town hall meetings, all of this stuff. We're talking, they got to be police, enforce law and order. Oh, and then also on the side that you don't actually get in society, you get to compete for gold stars with challenges, and you get real cash prizes for that. Oh, yeah. It's called jobs. Now, it sounds like a freaking banger series, right? I'd watch this, but here's where it gets a little bit, The kids ended up constantly fighting. One of them accidentally drank bleach. A girl burnt her face with oil, and some kids, they just forgot to drink water and became dehydrated because they're kids. Kind of sounds like me. You're telling me we don't all forget to drink water? It's not just kids. Alex, this is a reminder to drink water while you're editing. I bet you're dehydrated. Guarantee it. Now, there was also intense bullying because, you remember school? It's like this, but a grown-up version. One of the 8-year-olds got dragged around with a freaking lasso around his neck. It sounds like a regular police force. Sorry, Now, for this trouble of getting dragged around and stuff, they did get a month off school. I guess that makes it better. And also $5,000 in cash each. That's not bad. Now, don't worry, technically there were adults around, but they were all off camera. We're talking production crew, cameramen, medics, and also a team of psychologists monitoring the children. But they were instructed to kind of don't interact with them, or at least if you do, as little as possible. Now, the real nail in the coffin for all of this is when an episode came around where the kids had to slaughter a few chickens. And that episode got freaking huge backlash. In fact, a lot of viewers of that episode said that they were left traumatized and they were just watching it. So after getting slammed with criticism by the press, they got low ratings and also allegations of violating child labor laws. The show was cancelled after just one season and they stopped in 2008. So yeah, what do you guys think? Is this show fair enough? It's got a cool concept. Maybe it could have been managed better. Or was the whole thing just screwed up? And thank the Lord we don't have this anymore. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but onward. Okay, also, we've got a bit of a strange update to one of the stories that we covered a couple of weeks ago. But before I tell you which story that is, see if you can guess based on what the hell is happening in Congress. And as I play this, really soak in that this isn't like a parody or anything. This is 100% real. In fact, I believe he starts the sentence with, Mr. President?
Mr. President, this is a photograph of the alien from the movie Alien. This is what you could end up looking like if you eat some of the raw, frozen shrimp being sent to the United States by other countries.
Oh my Lord. Okay, let's be honest. Bro really said, let's try out some of those hooks that the youth are doing on TikToks nowadays. And I'm not gonna lie, he hooked me in. But for any of you confused, all of the unloyal subjects, the ones that don't watch every single video, Alex, yuck. Put him there. Put it. Anyway, for those ones, you're probably confused. Let me just quickly run through that. But also, as I quickly run through this, Alex, play the background sound of shame, shame, shame as I go through it, just so they know they should be watching every single goddamn video. About 2 weeks ago, the FDA instructed Walmart to recall 3 batches of its Great Value brand shrimp sold across 13 states because they detected cesium-137, which is a radioactive isotope. I think you see where this is going. But here's the thing, in contrast to what the congressman is saying, the FDA say that the radiation levels detected in these 3 batches were far lower than even the FDA intervention threshold. They did say that there could be some potential health concerns, although the risk of which is very low. But in complete contrast, my bro in Congress said that it'll kill you. He did say that. If it'll turn you into this alien, and if it doesn't turn you into this alien, you'll at least grow another ear. No, bro needs to get on TikTok. This is gold. Hooks. Now, the whole reason he brings this up in the first place is that he says that he doesn't like all of the seafood that's being brought into the United States because they don't test it, they don't check their seafood at the level that the United States does. They said that Indonesia, where this came from, was like 1% of seafood that they checked, or at least that's what he claimed, whereas the United States is like 50%. So I don't know exactly what he's proposing, whether just cut it all out or more checks. Either way, we laugh about it, but now we're speaking about it. So, with our third ears, he is one, and we shall move on. Shame. Oh, and also, talking about wild chemicals, we may be witnessing one of the worst mining disasters in history. And for some bizarre reason, you probably don't even know about it, because I didn't even know about it, and I'm looking at the news every single day. So earlier this year, at a Chinese copper mine in Zambia, a dam which was holding a massive reservoir of toxic chemicals collapsed, and it spilled a reported 1.5 million tons of chemicals into a waterway which feeds into the Kafue River. That is a water source to 12 million people. That's 60% of the entire population of Zambia. And you want to know what kinds of chemicals we're talking about? Arsenic, cyanide, uranium, just to name a few. I mean, eat anything in there and you're definitely actually going to turn into the freaking alien. That the congressman. What a guy. And not only are health experts in the country warning that these chemicals could cause birth defects, cancers, and diseases, but also the river is being described as dying overnight and causing irreversible harm. Aquatic life was wiped out for miles with dead fish lining the shores, and in certain regions, this part is just wild, the water became so acidic that it was, quote, strong enough to dissolve human bones. How have we not heard about this? Well, maybe this is why, because Zambia's own government, as well as the Chinese mining company responsible, they are now being accused of staging one of the worst cover-ups in the history of the industry. The United States ambassador to Zambia was seen in an email ranking this as the 6th worst mining disaster in history, and even told US personnel to evacuate the region near the spillage. Yet this is still somehow not dominating major international headlines. Now, this story was actually sent to me by one of you guys, so keep sending me stories like this that are underreported, because in the empire, we shall bring them to the light. So, as always, thank you guys very much, but moving on. Oh! Also, speaking about mining, that one's just for you, Zaddy. Zaddy, come here, come here, come here. Oh, also, speaking about mining, you guys have to know about this. This TikToker has spent the last 3 years building an entire tunnel system under her house. And yes, I know what you're thinking. She does have neighbors. Now, initially, Carla only set out to build a storm shelter under her property in Virginia. But instead of hiring a team of professionals, she said, I got this. Let me do it. And so, with 0 qualifications, Carla started hand mixing her own concrete, laying down hundreds of blocks. She blasted through multiple different jackhammers. She's built a freaking elevator to haul up what I believe it's like 200 tons of rocks so far that she's taken out. She's installed pumps for the excess water, and she's even had to build a ventilation system to stop her from suffocating and dying down there. Even one small mistake, playing IRL Minecraft, can be literal death. And that's why it's even more mind-blowing when you find out that not only is she doing all of this work by herself, spending $50,000 to $100,000 of her own money so far, but also she works in freaking IT. Like, she's entirely self-taught. Like, this is the result when you wake up one morning and you realize, I have self-will. Free will. I have free will. Can say and do what I want. So with that free will, I'll build a mine. Now, what makes this story even crazier is that she's not digging underneath some isolated house in the boonies. No, she lives in a normal neighborhood. So naturally, this freaked a lot of the neighbors out because, I don't know, what could go wrong? Sinkholes? Digging so deep you reach the netherworld?
The nether.
And then even worse, angering the nether mob? So I guess it kind of makes sense that one of her curtain-twitching neighbors snitched on her. And basically, in 2023, December, local authorities turned up to her house, inspected her tunnels, declared them unsafe, and ordered her to stop construction. But boy, oh boy, they had no idea who they were up against because she self-taught herself. What even the fuck? Because this is a woman that taught herself how to mine. A bit of paperwork, legal code, that's like some wind-down bedtime reading for her. So she proceeded to go to war with them for over a year, and I cannot stress this enough because this is so implausible. She ended up winning and somehow getting the government to allow an unqualified individual to dig tunnels as a hobby underneath a suburban neighborhood. Have you done that then? Because I honestly think this woman should run for president because I believe she can achieve anything at this point. In March, her permits were approved and today the tunnels continue. And next, she's not done there. She says that she's gonna take the 2,000-year-old stone that she's pulled up from the ground to her beautiful mines and then build a castle with it. And she's probably gonna get approval to build it on top of the White House because that's what she does. She achieves the impossible. Honestly, guys, sometimes humanity just leaves me speechless. Moving on. But the humans that leave me even more speechless are 3 sacrificial lambs who go through unbelievable pain and suffering just to remind you, sat there all comfy, to subscribe to the channel. We need to go faster to 900k. We're getting a little bit stuck here, guys. Rejoice, I say, for your suffering has halted because theirs has just begun. No, subscribe! The channel! That's for us to get to 900k. All right, guys, and with that, that is the end of Rose. The Premier League has just smashed an all-time record. They have never spent more money than they did in this transfer season. £3 billion in 12 freaking weeks. And now some clubs are getting worried because of this extraordinary spending because they're talking about incompetitive balances. Because Premier League clubs alone, they spend more than the Bundesliga, La Liga, Ligue 1, and Serie A combined. Here we got a list of the top spenders. Liverpool spent over 415 million alone. Just them. That is insane. Chelsea were second, 285 mil. However, they sold a lot of players. They actually made a profit. 288 mil of players they sold. Arsenal, the best club in the league, they spent 255, and the list goes on. Bro, even down there in the championships, you know Wrexham, the one that's owned by Ryan Reynolds? They spent more money than Barcelona, AC Milan, and Borussia Dortmund. So yeah, I mean, at least the UK got someone going for it. Next, also over to some pretty tragic and grim news because we saw several disasters this week around the world. In Sudan, as many as 1,000 people were killed after a landslide destroyed a village as a result of the days of heavy rain. Apparently, it left just one survivor, according to reports, on the ground. Next. And meanwhile, in the same week, Afghanistan was rocked by a devastating earthquake on Sunday. According to the latest figures from Al Jazeera, 1,400 people died and 3,700 were injured, which makes it one of the deadliest natural disasters the country has seen in decades. And the thing is, while it was only a 6.0 magnitude earthquake, which is, I guess, comparatively less strong than some of the ones that we've seen before, it did strike the mountainous regions along Pakistan, which caused homes to collapse while people were sleeping, and it also trapped many victims in certain areas due to the tough terrain and also aftershocks which cut them off from aid. Next, and then moving over into Portugal, they declared a national day of mourning today because 17 people were killed in a horrific accident in Lisbon. Their world-famous Gloria funicular cable car, which is really populous among tourists, it has like millions of people traveling in it every year. It somehow derailed on a steep hill yesterday and hit a building. Now, it's not confirmed how this happened yet, but around 20 people have been injured and at least 17 have died. Some eyewitnesses say that it was a brake or cable failure. Next, and talking about disasters, but of a different kind, we've got yet another update on the Epstein files. Because this week, a group of Epstein victims say that they are going to compile their own list. And they say this list is going to contain all of the famous people who they say were regularly in the Epstein world. They say that this list will be by the survivors, for the survivors, and they will make this available to the public. Now, this was announced at a news conference yesterday in Washington, where they also urged the government to release more information from the files. And they're doing this because the day before, 33,000 files, Epstein files, were released. But most of this stuff was already made public, and it didn't really reveal anything new or bombshell. So, I mean, guys, if the government isn't going to do it, make the list yourself. Let us know. Moving on. Sorry. Next. And then finally, I need to call myself out because I have no idea how I even do this. Now, a few of you noticed I was reading some of the comments and I said, can do years. And I just casually said that and skipped on like it was nothing. Alex, play it. But this moment shows him that a moment of inattention can do years of work and support. And what I was trying to say is can undo years. And I somehow said can do years of how. The part that doesn't register in my brain is how I don't notice when I'm literally reordering a sentence. And I'm pissed because this happens a lot. I'll just speak some other language. I'll speak in frickin' tongues. Anyway, with that out the way, I wish you guys a Merry Christmas. I'm joking. Oh, I hope you guys had a fantastic week. It's been a long one over here at the News Daddy Empire, but a fantastic one. I'm looking forward to a delightful day off. Oh, it's also Maddie's birthday when you're watching this, so happy birthday, News Maddie, the Secretary General of everything. I am off to eat some birthday cake. I hope you guys are loving life, and I will see you after the weekend on Monday. Woo! Oh my God. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I do this to myself? Oh my God. Testing. In hell. In hell. Testing if the mic. Testing if the mic works. Testing if the mic works. Is this working, Alex? Testing! Sorry, Alex. So, just in case, you needed to, just in case you needed a bit of coffee in your ears. All right, let's do this video all over again.